literally rather have me burning in hell.
Did I ever say that? No! I never, ever f***ing said that. Ever!
Rather me live anywhere except for with you, so
Yes.
you wouldn't care if I was in hell or not.
Oh my god, that's not living, that's dying. You're a f***ing idiot.
I'd just like to let it be known that this all started because I touched a window. You know, really fun stuff right there. A lot of people really seem to enjoy the mom stories for some reason, and in a sense, I kinda get why. They're very hectic, they're very chaotic, they're very clickbaity, and they lead to some of the most valuable lessons that anybody could learn on my channel here. And as long as you guys keep enjoying the stories, I'll keep making them for as long as I humanly can until the IRS comes to my door and tells me to pay my taxes, which for legal reasons I already have. But regardless, let's get into the story. Now, this one is a very crazy one, because as foreshadowed in my cold open, this started because I touched a window, and now I know that you're thinking, like, Trilette, how the hell did your mother get mad at you for touching a window? And that's a good question, alright? I don't even know myself anymore to this day, but I was looking back through some of my old videos, and I saw one of them that really caught my eye. It was the one that I started off the video with. And because of that, I'm like, maybe I can make a story off of this. So, this all takes place back in, I believe it was 2022. Don't quote me on that, the year anyways, but at this time, right, I was going to a doctor's appointment, okay? I was out and about, going to a doctor's appointment, and things went pretty good. I talked to the psychiatrist, I left, me and my mom got in the car, and we started driving back towards my place of employment. So, what happened is, we decided to go through a drive-thru at a chicken restaurant. I'm not sure what it was, or if I should say the name of it, because I'm pretty sure it's a local one, but we went to a chicken restaurant, we went through a drive-thru, and things went, you know, alright for a while. We were just sitting in the car, eating the food, and, me, thinking nothing much of it, I decided to lean my hand up against the window for a second. And my mother really did not like the fact that I touched this window, okay? Because she looked over at me and she said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I responded as like, what did I do? It's like, you know exactly what you did. You just touched my window with your greasy fucking hands, you know? It's insane. And that is what led to this argument. We started talking and yapping and yapping and yapping. She was like, how dare you do that? You're 16 years old. You shouldn't be doing anything. Because, by the way, I was 16 in the story, right? You're 16 years old. You shouldn't be touching your window with your greasy ass fingers. It's like bibby dibby dibby jim. And then she said, I'd rather live anywhere but with you. I'd rather live anywhere with you. And that's where that clip first comes into play. Because after that, I got really tired and I started to try to record the situation because, you know, at this time, you know, I was trying to get evidence against my mother to be able to use in some sort of fashion to help me out of my situation. But I recorded her with the little phone that I smuggled. It didn't even have internet access. I quite literally just had that phone because I needed something to record my mother with, and I managed to find one of my grandmother's old phones and record her with it. And so I recorded that, and then the entire clip played out. You know, she was talking about, did I ever say that? No, never ever. You're a fucking idiot. You know, and then we have a talk about the greasy fingers, and you're 16 years old. You shouldn't be putting greasy fingers all over my window. XYZ, XYZ, and XYZ. And I don't understand how she crashed out this hard over the fact that somebody touched a window. Like, my god, it is just a window. Calm yourself. Like, if the grease marks are really that bad, couldn't you just, like, take a wet wipe and, like, clean it up? Is it really worth, like, telling your son that he's stupid and that you'd rather him live anywhere that is not with you because somebody touched a window? I think that's a little extreme, but my mother is known for being, like, very extreme on things, so I suppose that just is what it is, right? Oh, but it doesn't stop there, because then after this is over, she goes into detail about how I touched the window. She was like, look, Trilette, you touched the window, and you grabbed your fingers and you smeared them all over my window with your greasy fucking hands. And it's like, dude, I don't get it. I don't get why you were so heated over the fact that I touched your window. It's like, it's just a window, you can clean it. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna be cleaning my whole car. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? It's like, no, you gotta learn a lesson. Keep in mind, the lesson I was learning here is to not touch a window. All I did was I touched a window with my hands, and then even offered to clean off the window for her, and no, that wasn't good enough. She wanted me to now clean her entire car, inside and out, okay? I don't even think the outside, I think the outside came on with a punishment later, but like, she wanted me to clean her entire car because I touched a window. Really? Do you think this is in any way, shape, or form acceptable to just make your kid clean your entire car because they touched a window? Like, I would have done it for free if she was just like, hey, Trilette, you know, can you clean up the window later? And I'd be like, sure, Mom, I don't mind. But no, you decide for some reason that we want to make you clean the entire car, and it's just really dumb. And so eventually, I'm like, dude, I cannot take this anymore. You go do whatever you want, and then She speeds off as I step out the car. You can hear the tire skids, which is something she normally does. I don't know why she does it, but it's something that she does, and it's really sad that she does, because it's really upsetting. You know, she's supposed to be the parent, she's supposed to be the one that protects me, but she kind of just, does the opposite instead. Insert joke about, knife fight here. But, anyways, so we're going to work, and, I'll talk to my coworkers about it, and we all clown all over my mother, as we normally do, because everybody at work knew, like, what was going on with my mother at this point, simply because I'm still underage and still living there. Everybody knew that she was a, real piece of work, but she didn't really, show herself in there that often. She always does pick up there, still to this day, by the way. But, yeah, so I go to work, we roast her, and then we're just all laughing at the whole situation in the video I recorded. I remember one of the workers I worked with at the time, whose name we're just gonna call him, Stacy. So Stacy looks at me, and they're like, wow, your mother is insane. And I'm like, yeah, no way she's insane. She wants me to clean her entire car because I touched a window. How was that fair, in any way, shape, or form? But since this is a Trilad story, you all know damn well it doesn't end after the first altercation. The rest of the day at work was pretty normal, right? I went in, I clocked my shift. This is back when I was working with clothing, I believe, at the time. So I was kind of just folding clothes, you know, making sure everything's neat, dealing with the occasional odd customer here and there. And eventually, what happens is, it's time for me to get off. Clocked in my 4 hours, which is how much I was working at the time, and I got ready to go home. Now, while I got in the car, my mother was still there, and we got into another fight. This time, we got into a fight over, guess what? Greasy fingers touching the window. Yeah, she's had 4 hours to cool off at this point, and she's still mad at me over touching her car's window. And we go into another rant. We're driving home, middle of the night, I got the phone out recording again like I do, and she's like, Trilad, you gotta clean my window. And it's like, no, not the window, like, Trilad, you gotta clean my car. And I'm like, dude, I don't need to do it. I will clean the window if it really means that much to you, but I do not cleaning your entire car. And she's like, alright, well, you're cleaning the outside of the car now. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And she keeps going on and said, I'm serious, you gotta learn to accept your punishment. And then she kept talking, not back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The argument never stops. And she describes in detail, you know, how my hand streaks touch the window and every single smudge mark on the window. See, there's one here, and there's one here, and there's one here, and there's one here. You got your greasy, nasty fingers all over my window. And, like, genuinely, this is starting to become the most infuriating thing at the point. Dude, I was at work all day. I had a good day at work, okay? Everything was slow, everything was chill. I got my money, and I was ready to go home. And the second I sat in the car, suddenly, Mom and I are fighting over God knows what. I really don't even know what the fight is over at this point, because I don't think this is about greasy fingers. I think this is just because me and my mother, and to a lesser extent me, just wanted to fight, right? And so we did. We fought for 5 minutes on the way home. And then before she gets out of here, she's like, you know, right, you're cleaning the inside glasses too, because she wanted to punish me even more for questioning her motives. So now, to recap, I have to clean the window, I have to clean the inside of her car, I have to clean the outside of her car, and I have to clean every single glass fixture in her house, because I touched a window with my fingers, right? And you'd think that's where this ends, right? I go home, my mother is insane as per usual. Oh, no. That is not how this works, my friend. You are a sweet summer child if you think my mother's gonna give up that easily. No. What happens is we end up pulling into the garage, and she is like, alright, get out of my car. You can never use my car again. If you don't want to clean the windows, you don't want to clean the car, you have to clean my entire car again. And then she just does not let me back in the car. And so I'm fighting that. I'm like, how am I going to get to work? The cops told you that you have to provide me a ride to work, because she had been in a little bit of heat with the police at this point, but she's, you know, that's the closest she ever came to losing the game, and that's just because she didn't expect me to fight back, right? But, you know, I tell her, the cop says you have to have her car, and it's like, you know what, you can find another ride to work. And then my sister comes out here, and she says, look at that, that's your baby sister over there. She wants my attention so badly, and I can't go over and give it to her, because I'm here stuck complaining over my 16-year-old son who doesn't know how to keep his hands off of windows. And so I get out of her car, and before I go in, I go outside to check the mail. Right, keep in mind, it's very snowy outside right now, right? The snow is coming down, I'm in my coat, there's ice everywhere, and I'm walking out the door, right? And then as I walk out of the garage door, something really stupid happens. Something that you probably wouldn't want to see if you were living in my situation. Oh my lord. So, what happened is, I'm outside, checking the mail, and I hear the garage door start to close. and it's closing and closing and closing, and I try to run in and get under, and I start banging on the door, bang, 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 and she doesn't leave, alright? And so then I go around to the front door, bang, 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 bang. She wouldn't let me in. She had locked the front door, and she had locked the garage door. And go around back, bang, 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 bang. Nope, no way to get in. She had completely locked me outside in the snow. Keep in mind, this was the middle of winter. It was fucking freezing outside, okay? I needed a jacket on. I couldn't last out there forever. I was thinking I'm gonna have to sleep outside. And so I do what I think the only thing I can do in this situation is I pull out a camera and I start recording. And I point it at the garage door and I'm just like, yep, there she goes, closing the garage door. And you see, this is what she does. She's gonna lock me out in the cold, so if any cops are watching this, you know, this is kind of how she acts on a day-to-day. And I think she saw me record the video, because after this, she opens the garage door, and she lets me in. It's not, you're not gonna let me in when I'm outside freezing in the cold, but the second you catch, like, a whiff of me doing something that might get you exposed, you just all of a sudden backpedal. I really wonder what that's about, you know? Really hard for me to understand. That's not possible, right? There's no way she would be doing that for her own self-gain. And so I go inside, and my mother still follows through on the punishment. She still makes me clean her entire freaking car. The whole thing. I have to clean the inside, I have to wipe the outside. The only thing I didn't have to do was wipe down the glassware inside. I had to clean her car spotless, and she was watching me. She was standing over me the whole time, making sure there was not a spot, a smudge of dirt all over any of the windows on the outside of the car. On the inside of the car, I had to vacuum her car up, I had to throw her car bags away, and she was going to force me. And if I had kept trying to fight back, well, punishment would have just gotten worse, because she's going to make me do it anyways. It doesn't matter how much I just don't like the punishment. It doesn't matter how unfair the punishment is. She is going to make me punish it, because she didn't punish me to parent me. She punished me because I was punished. You know, a friend of mine said this very well. You weren't ever parented, you were punished. And that's all I was. I was just punished for disobedience and nothing else. No matter, and listen, there are some things that I've done in the past that I absolutely should have been disciplined for, but the fact she could just do that is really, really, really stupid, and I don't think she should be able to do that. But, you know, I have to clean out her entire car, and I get in there and go to bed. You think that might be where the story finally ends, right? No, we still got more greasy fingers to deal with, alright? So it's next morning, right? It's a Saturday, and I get up out of my bed, I get my clothes on, you know, my mother is getting ready to take me to work, as she normally does, and we get in the car, and then I bring up, you know, it's like, why'd you make me clean your whole car? And guess what happens, guys? We have another 10-minute long argument about how the greasy fingers, the greasy fingers, that's all it is. We start going back and forth, and it's like, I didn't say that, you didn't say that, you should have cleaned my window, you're 16, you should know not to touch people's windows, you know, XYZ, yada yada yada, fixture, and I am just so done at this point. I have listened to this woman rant about how greasy my fingers are for like the past millennia, and it just does not matter. I don't care, okay? Why do you care so much over whether or not I touched your car with greasy fingers? It is ridiculous. Like, clean the window, that's all I would have to do. All I had to do is clean the window, and I wouldn't have even been upset. I would have been like, okay, I'll clean up my mess, but no, and I even tell that to her. It's like, the whole point of making a mess is that you clean up after myself. And she's like, I know, you know, if you touch my window with your greasy ass fingers, there will be consequences that you have to pay. And it just keeps going. It's just going and going and going, and I don't think it's ever going to stop, honestly. I thought the greasy finger saga was going to go on for like the rest of the week, and you know, so I pull into work, and I get ready, get over to the back room to clock in, and I talk to all of my associates, and they're like, really? How did Greasy Fingers get this far? And to this day, I still have all of those videos of the Greasy Fingers. I only played one of them at the start because I kind of do want this to be more so a story than just watch me get stuff done, because those videos are pretty intense, I'm going to be honest, especially the second one, where she don't actually lock me outside in the snow. And it was a lot, you know. And if I have any advice to give away for this one, okay guys, just please don't argue with your abusers, alright? If you were ever in a situation where you know you were outmatched, it doesn't even have to be an abuser, don't engage with it. Just put your head down, make it through the work, and do your time. Because if you don't, you're probably going to end up having this happen to you. Because listen, was the punishment completely absurd? No. But I just cleaned the inside of her car when she told me to. I probably would have been a lot better off. You just keep your mouth shut, and they won't make it worse on you. That's what you gotta do. And obviously, I know a lot of people would want things to end right off rip, but that's not how that works, unfortunately. Unfortunately, a lot of the times, we're kind of at the whims of whoever in our life is there to control us, and as much as I hate that, you know, it's kind of something that just happens, and there's not really too much you can do about it. I mean, you can always try to fight back, and if you have the means, please talk to a trusted adult, please talk to the police, but if you're like me and really don't have any recourse, that's the point where you just put your head down, bide your time, and wait for an opportunity to show itself. Because I know things might seem bad right now, I know they might seem bleak wherever you are, if you're living with horrible parents, or you're with a horrible partner, or if you're just in a horrible spot in general. The best way to deal with it, just put your head down, look forward, take your time, and I promise you guys, you will be fine. Anyways, that's about all from me guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you do enjoy, please do make sure to like and comment the video. Also subscribe if you want to help me get to a bigger number before the end of the year. We're almost at 1,500 subscribers, so if you can help me out with that right now, I would appreciate it, and it would mean a lot to me. But with that being said, you know, my name is Trilad. Have an awesome day, and I will see you all next time. Also, I'm not sure if there's going to be a video tomorrow because I do have work, but I digress. Okay, guys, bye-bye.